You have become a mom, and your mom or your mother-in-law keep telling you how to parent. Has that ever happened to you? That's what we're going to be talking about today on Set to Love, motherhood on your terms. Let's go.
You can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality.
You are here to contribute through your essence, fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on.
Take what works, ditch the rest, and always stay set to love.
Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday.
Yes. How are you?
I'm doing so good. How are you today?
Doing good. Another day. It's been such beautiful weather.
No, it's been such a great week. So productive. And I just feel like, all right, this is one of those weeks I'm like, all right, I'm doing good this week. I've been exercising, being productive. So yeah, it's been
oh my
great.
gosh. Because I'm 60, I had a lady at 6 this morning come and she had to take my blood pressure. They took blood to do tests on me. They asked every question so that I can extend my life insurance until I'm 80. Yeah. But it was just so funny. You have to get on the scale. They take your height and weight and they ask you a million questions. And to be really honest, I know this isn't our topic, but what was really interesting about it is I felt super grateful. Like that some of the questions that they ask, and all of them I was able to say no, like, drug use and smoking and diabetes and asthma and like all of these things that so many people have, depression. I mean, there's a million questions. I thought, wow, how grateful am I that the only thing I have to worry about is maybe 10 pounds. Like that's pretty darn good.
Yes. What a beautiful perspective. And especially connected to something that you do think about a lot and you do kind of struggle with. When you think about, oh, maybe I have 10 pounds, you can be thinking about, oh, but I have all of this other stuff that's good.
And I don't have any. I have nothing.
No other issues. I love that.
And I just feel so grateful because they had a list of all these, major things that can have, kidney problems and just all of these different issues that people have that would be a reason, hard issues that they don't want to insure you, give you life insurance because of course they want healthy people. And I was talking to the girl this morning and I said, gosh, I feel so lucky I can say no to all of that stuff.
That's awesome.
Anyway, that's another story, but I felt really grateful.
I love it. And you know what? You get to be grandma. You get to be around for 20 more years for Harper because you are taking care of yourself. And I love that. And let's go into this topic of motherhood on your terms. And I love that you brought this up and for us to talk about today, because it is interesting when, Emmy's 21, she's going to be getting engaged and she doesn't want to have kids till she's 30. So we'll see how that pans out. But, you have a grandbaby. Well, you actually have a couple, right? But you get to be with Harper twice a week. And do you find yourself like, I don't want to call it parenting because you're not parenting, but technically, you are the in charge figure 2 of those days. Do you find that you do things the way that Brooke wants you to, or do you kind of revert back to things that you did, or how does that work for you guys? And do you ever like come up with, Mom, this is how we do it here, or Mom, I don't do it that way?
Never. I feel really blessed because I raised my daughter and I did the best I could. And now she has Harper and she's taken a lot of those things and things are different to where she's doing even a better job than everything she cooks is organic. We only give the baby breast milk. They don't want me to drive at this point. Soon I think it'll change, but they don't want me driving the baby anywhere. She has a certain schedule. And what's really nice is I'm proud of them. And I don't really feel a need to give my input unless she asks me, because I think they're doing a great job, and it's so much easier for me to just follow what it is she wants and how she wants it, because then there's no issues. It's just so much easier. And I see that Harper's happy. So why, even if I did think something should be different, it's not my baby. It's my granddaughter. But I feel that if I want to be close with Harper, I want to be close with Brooke and Ryan. If I do it the way that they're I mean, even Brooke said to me a couple of weeks ago, she said, you know what, Mom, what I love most about you being here and feeling so confident is that you do exactly what I say. I never say, are you sure you want to do it that? Never. I always, just because, you know what? It's just so much easier for me to just follow what they need than to try to micromanage in any way.
But what if you thought they weren't doing something well, or, you know, they were kind of, okay, let's say it's the opposite. Like, it sounds like Brooke is like very regimented in things. All right. Now me, like, I'm going out with my baby at 1 week old. I don't care if they pick something up off the ground and eat it. Like, I mean, like,
well, she's
I don't know. I'm just much more like, whatever.
She actually has loosened up. She has loosened up, though. She takes the baby to the beach. They have the baby on the bike with the helmet. He does the baby with the, you know, the skateboard. Like, they do she gets to experience a lot. I mean, with having a baby at COVID time, it was really stressful. And to be honest, though, I'm just saying, I'm so glad, because there was nothing I could do when they were super stressed.
But my question for you is, if you felt, I mean, they're obviously doing great. And I think being at that high level of parenting, it's a lot of work. And maybe like as they have more and more kids, it won't be that way. I think people with their first are much more like worried, and everything is like, they're so careful and they want to do everything right. And I think the more kids you have, at least for me, you know, by 5 and 6, you're like, whatever, you're going to be fine. You're resilient, you know. But if you thought they were doing something that maybe they could be doing a different way, do you just keep it to yourself, or would you share it? Or do you just go, whatever they say, I don't care, I'm just going to do what they say, they're the parents?
Well, I kind of, you know, like a couple of things have happened. Like, I was sitting right there and Harper fell and she hit her lip and there was blood. And I mean, her little baby tooth hit in the lip. And I immediately got like an ice pack thing, and I put it on her lip. And then I texted Brooke. You know what? I'm so proud. She just stayed so calm. And she's like, Mom, these things are going to happen. Don't feel bad. So at first I thought, you know, like, I'm going to be in trouble. And I was right here. But I really do think that they've lightened up on a lot of things. They're very accepting. And I believe they also trust my judgment, or they wouldn't have me there. That's so true. I feel like sometimes when I have to make my own decisions, they wouldn't have me there if they didn't trust how I was going to handle something and not be reactive. That's why when she fell, I didn't immediately panic. I just, and it was, you know, that's not fun when they fall and you see blood. Right. And so in that way, yes. But the part that you're asking is if they were doing something that I didn't agree with.
Yeah, or just thought it could be done better. I mean, it doesn't have to be like you disagree with it, but if you just think, well, this would be maybe a better, would you ever
I would just say, you know, like, let's just say she didn't have a bedtime anymore, or she did, or whatever. Right. You know, there you go. I might say, well, this isn't working this way. Have you ever thought of, maybe I would do a suggestion thing? And I always say, kind of like what we're saying, hey, if you don't like what I have to say, keep what you want, ditch the rest, because it's not going to make a difference to me whether you do it. You need to do it what works for you and Ryan. You know, like some people, like, they have Harper in bed with them sometimes. And, you know, she'll come in at 3 a.m. and she'll stay the whole night with them. That's, some people might not think that that's good. To me, I think it's nurturing. And, you know, if whatever, they're not going to stay this age forever. So to me, you know, so I guess I'm just such a fan of my kids. And I think Ryan is being such a fantastic father, where you could leave him a week with the baby and he would know everything to do. Like
That's really special. That's really
he's
special.
just amazing. So I guess I have a positive experience, but
Yeah.
I think that my mind went in as being a grandparent, even when, like, when the baby was born. I
Mhm.
wanted to come sooner than I did, but it wasn't up to me.
Mhm. Right, right.
Right?
You know, it reminds
I maybe
me.
would have done that different, but it's not my baby, and it's not my
Yeah,
risk to take.
right.
You
I
know, so I
understand.
just sometimes as the grandparent, you have to set your own personal things aside and be supportive to your kids, because if I would have caused conflict, then the time we are together, it's not good.
You're right.
I that's not worth it to me.
And you know what? So Chad's so my ex-husband, my kid's dad's, for anyone who doesn't know, he comes from a whole bunch of siblings and he's one of the youngest. He's the second youngest. And they were married. His older siblings were married. They had kids already. And his mom would say, I don't tell any of my kids how to parent, because at first she started doing that. Like, you should do this, or wash the baby this way, or this is how you do this, or, just trying to be nurturing and loving and helpful, because she had a lot of kids and she had a lot of experience. And what she found is that caused a lot of conflict, that each of her kids parents so differently. And I can look at all the cousins, like I look at my kids compared to all their cousins, so different. I mean, night and day different. And so if she were to have, she finally was like, you do you guys parent however, and I'm just going to be supportive. And that seemed to work out a lot better. But everyone comes with their own personalities and every parent is different. And you're right. If you want to cause conflict, then go ahead and tell your kids how to parent. But if you want to be supportive and loving, then you support them where they're at. And I think suggestions are always nice. And you can say, are you open to an idea? I have an idea for around something. I think maybe having a set bedtime or having a set bath schedule. But, like Chad has a sister who would bathe their kids every single night at the exact, their schedule was so regimented. It was so detailed, and that worked for their family. That would never work for me. I am someone who's just very fluid and whatever's happening in my day. I'm not a schedule. 8:00, 8:30. Like bedtime might be the only thing that I'm scheduled on, but everything else is just very fluid. So to even judge how, how my sister parents, or how, which I think she's doing a great job, or how one of my former in-law, or sister-in-laws or brother-in-law parents, it's like, we're all different. And whatever.
On top of that, you are taking Ryan has his family and how he was raised, and his dynamic. Then there's Brooke with her life and how she was raised. And then you put them together, and it's not like Brooke has all the say. Ryan has just as much of a part of their decisions. So, even with COVID, I didn't get to see Brooke on Mother's Day. Ryan wasn't comfortable with it, and I had to just accept that. She was pregnant, and you know what? It's okay. It worked out the way it was supposed to work out. And that's what I'm saying. It's better to look at things like in a way that you have to leave space for people to figure out things and how they want to do it. You get to be, you get to be a part.
Everyone home's culture is different. And just like you said, when you have two individuals that come together, they're bringing in their own perspective. So Brooke is bringing everything that she knows, and Ryan's bringing everything that he knows. And together they're forming a new way of doing things. They're taking
exactly
what they believed worked out of from their childhood. And then they're probably incorporating some new things they've learned about, things that work for Harper specifically. And so it's beautiful that you allow space for them to figure that out on their own. I do think there's a lot of parents who become grandparents, or even siblings who tell their siblings how to parent. And this is the right way to do things. And your kids aren't going to be successful if they're not doing X, Y, Z, or whatever it might be. And I think that that's all just a bunch of hogwash. I think our kids are resilient. And as long as there's love.
And judge.
Yeah.
Judge. Where's that going to get you?
Is there love? Our people are
Even sisters with sisters that have both have kids and they may do it differently.
Yeah.
You know, I personally think that, I mean, I would, as far as Brooke and Ryan, I wouldn't do anything different. I think they're easygoing about a lot of things. I just think they have, you know, if she's not in bed at a certain time, they're flexible. But she does have a schedule. They have bath time, but if it's a half an hour here or there, or if it's not for that night because she's fallen asleep, you know, that I just feel like they're doing a great job. So I'm very fortunate. But I do hope for people that are hearing this today that if you do find yourself making issues where it's really not your place, you're just pushing yourself away. You're not getting what you want. And that's not going to work. And so leave space for them to do it. However, and you know what? If they fall, be there to be that soft, loving place to help them.
Shelley, that was so perfect. I don't even want to say anything else. I think that was like a beautiful way to end. That's such that we could have started with that and ended with that. So I love that. Thank you so much. What a great topic today.
Yes, yes.
And you can find us at settolove.com. And if you have questions about parenting or grandparenting and you want to reach out to us, we're full of ideas, and you can send us an email at set2lovepodcast@gmail.com. We're here weekday mornings. And I love you, best friend. And I love doing this with you and being on this journey. And just hopefully this can be useful and purposeful for someone else out there. If this helps one person, then
it's worth it.
We've done our job for today. So wonderful. Love you.
Have a great day. Thank you, everyone. Hit the bell.